So if you're confused about where we're starting off, just know that there were 2 streams before this, and that is the save file we're working with. Otherwise, the only other thing to say is that the game was updated within the past, ever since I last played the recent stream, basically since the recent stream. And so what has happened is that mainly bug fixes, so nothing really gameplay changing. I think there are a few little twists and turns here and there, but mostly it was a lot of bug changes. So, or bug fixes. Sorry. Oh my goodness, going crazy. But yeah, we'll continue this probably as video format, just showing you the quick little build I'm working with for all 3 of my creatures. And unlike other people who are playing at this moment, I'm definitely far behind. So yeah, I'm still kind of working with the base. I am still working with the base 3 monster/monster parts. I could make more, but I'm waiting until I can get a full set, just because I want to see how that works. But I have seen other people playing with, a lot more interesting builds and characters. I don't know what I'll call them. Friends? Monsters? I'll figure something out. But in the meanwhile, let's go on another routine, because I still don't feel comfortable with my current power level. So yeah, routine I think is a good way to kind of gauge how you may do on hard, but I mean, it's not the end-all be-all, right? Also, is that a real... Anywho, we're just going to go up the middle here. But yeah, trying to gauge where exactly I want to be. I didn't look up too much, so I'm still like 95% blind, but best to stay cautious, because in this game, for those who have not seen the previous streams, basically you make your characters or monsters or friends out of various parts, which is why it's called the Frankenstein roguelite deck builder. And then you decide, what cards to pick, and you upgrade your cards, and their levels also increase, as you saw. And so when they get better, you take on harder missions, and as you get harder missions, that was me moving in the background. That was not a sound by you, by the way. And after a certain point, yes, if your monsters die during anything, really, they disappear for good, and that's the roguelite-like part of this game, where you have to build yourself back up. You can use part of your team, or you can fully wipe, but yeah, it's still a problem nonetheless. But the way I'm working with things right now, also, I've made some few Steam mistakes, so you might see achievements popping up again, but yeah, oh, I forgot what I was going to say. Anywho, this is a raw video, because I'm not really going to do much else. I'm still deciding on what I wanted to do, but I think I'm just going to start with a raw video and see how it works out. So, yeah, also, I need to get out of this as soon as possible. We have gore for this very reason, but, okay, so what I was working with is essentially a build that, one of them shields and tanks and draws aggro. The other one does low-cost attacks, but can build strength, and the other one builds a bunch of strength and then does gore, because gore does damage that scales off more damage from having strength. So, yeah. That being said, I would want to strengthen into gore. That's not going to happen. So instead, we are going to do our best, because we are slowly getting poisoned here, and we need to get out ASAP. So getting rid of one of these would help out. Stunning them also helps out as well, but we do want to essentially rush. This is an encounter. The Byhawks, I definitely want to get out, because they're applying poison, and that is equal to the number of tokens. Unlike other status effects that stack, like weak and vulnerability, yeah, poison you can immediately feel. So, let's continue onward. I think I'd rather do Harden, oddly enough. But we will gather stuff. We don't have shields, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So, anything we're taking here is what we're actually taking. On top of any poison that's happening to our face, but hey. So we can do this. Do I want to do this? Yeah, I want to do this. I think we're going to do what's left in our deck. Oh, we have another Gore. I think I want to wait for that. So we are going to sharpen and then defend. Thankfully, adding block does, I think, mitigate poison for the moment, but yeah, let's cash out here. That way we take no damage at all. Efficiency-wise, you do want to... The game doesn't care how much HP at the end, it only really cares about the binary state of, is someone alive or not? But obviously HP matters in that you're slowly being whittled down as you progress through a mission, so... Hey, 5 times for 5 energy. Otherwise, less damage, less energy, but... costs less energy overall. This would be interesting, but I think I usually want to keep my cards usually at a cost of 3 or 2, or 0, but... We'll see what I ultimately decide. Too vulnerable. But I get threatened. Nah. And I don't want it to cost 3 energy, so we're instead gonna move on. I should really check the deck. I think that's still, you know, a couple of quality of life things you can add, although they do technically do make the game easier in a way, even though you can just write everything down either on paper in real life or type everything in a spreadsheet or whatnot. Either is a good option, I feel. But in the meanwhile, we don't have Threaten, by the way, so we're just gonna... We actually do take this damage to the face. Yeah, Strengthen. Do I want Plotting? No, I think I'd rather Sharpen. So we're gonna take this. Unfortunately, yeah, Boofus 5 is gonna take damage. The number represents the number of times we've gone through and died, pretty much, as this monster's died. So, being a little bit immersive here. Although I'm pretty sure I've died more than 5 times, but you get the point. We're we're trying to make sure everyone survives. So we're gonna do a block, but then we're gonna do this. But we are slowly being whittled down, so we do need to eventually do something better. Although we do need this as well. 2 Impetus. Don't want that? I do. Add an exhausted card to the discard pile, but hopefully we're not here for too long. We shouldn't need to reshuffle the deck twice. But if we do, we're going to do this into Retaliation, into Toughen. Could have done an Unyielding, but for now, I think it's fine. We do get stunned for that, but they stun themselves too, so it's kind of fine for the moment. I guess we'll actually... No, we'll just Gore first. Gore first. We could ride by a Gore. I hope that doesn't happen, but let's find out. I can't tell, so I'm just going to look at the deck. And move on. That is something you could do for the player, but they can just check the discard pile and the deck, so it's not that bad. Also, maybe I should have just strengthened instead, but either way, I one-shot one of these 2 boars if I draw Gore. Now, I didn't draw Gore, so what we do instead is... Well, we have a Gore... No, we don't. No, we don't. So I guess we are going to have no pain, no gain. So strengthen twice, scratch one of these, and then this. And away we go. Although, since this is our tank, so while these 2, Boofus and Abilene, can take as much damage as, you know... I don't want them to take too much damage, but they can afford to take damage. I do want to avoid... I want to avoid Blocky taking too much damage, because he is tanking, so I expect him to take some damage here and there when I get a bad hand that doesn't have any draw card, or doesn't have any block and or threaten. Mainly threaten, because I don't want damage falling on these 2. But, yeah, while we have Threaten, and for those who don't know, Threaten basically draws aggro. Specifically, must be targeted first by the enemy, or the other side, and it loses 1 stack at the end of the turn. But if you stack more, essentially that's the amount of turns you get. And you can be more creative with... the developers can decide to be more creative with removing Threaten or certain status effects, but for now... After coming right off of a thing, also, where are all my attack cards? Oh my goodness. Yeah, after coming out of early access into full release, you know, it's fine for the moment. There's definitely a lot of potential. Now, that normally would be a worrisome statement, but for indie devs, they get a bit more leeway, or they get a bit more credibility, because usually, in my experience, indie devs deliver a lot more frequently than at least a few bigger developers, I guess we'll just say that much. Gain 2 Impetus, discard all non-attack cards, add an exhausted. Or add 4, but get 4. Now we're going to retrain. Upgrade, warning signals. I would like a thing. I know I forgone. I skipped a threaten upgrade for warning signals, and that now I'm just sad. We see, draw 1 card on top of it. I don't really want to do that, so I guess we'll make it a 0 energy card. I think it's still consumed, right? But that's fine. If it costs 0 energy, I think it's well worth it. Who are we fighting here? I don't remember the exact elite mechanics ever since the last stream, so never mind Molman. I still don't remember, but we'll make do with what we've got. We don't have any threaten, though, so these guys are getting shield. It's fine for the moment, but hopefully on the next turn I get some kind of threaten. Okay, this will help. This'll do. Then we can sharpen and harden. They're still kind of getting shield here and there, but it's perfectly fine for the moment. I mean, I should just cash out now, but first, let's use our 0 costs. Oh, never mind. I lied, because this one is taunted. Or this one has meek, which means it must be targeted last. The opposite of taunt. But that's perfectly fine, because neither of them are... You know, it doesn't really matter. That being said, Strengthen would have helped out here, but it's fine. So instead we'll do a defend for next turn. Draw one more card and gore. If nothing else, you can at least leave this video on and just listen to me commentate. That you can rely on. But while we're sitting here trying to survive, I think we actually will threaten here, funny enough. We don't want to take any HP away, so instead we just continue working on this other moment over here. This one apparently always seems to go meek, but I don't know that for sure, because I think I've only fought this twice, so hey. Meanwhile, I could, yeah, that's a bit much, but we can do no pain, no gain, so I think it's fine for the moment. We can also plot for Wall of Flesh, but I don't think we need to do that, so yeah. In the meanwhile, he does take a bit of damage. Do I want to just block to be safe? No, I'm going to go all out here. In the hopes that next turn I either get another gore or we get enough damage. That's not likely to happen. We probably just need gore, and as I just said, we didn't get it. So it's putting up shield, so that's fine, but we do want to get out. Unfortunately, not that anything's happening, but good to know my damage potential is still quite low. It's still quite low because I don't have a single attack card in my hand. Do we have any left? We do. We just happen to not draw any of them. Literally any of them. 1 HP. Well, with 17 shield, so effectively 18 HP. But you get the point. I was doing my best. Oh my goodness. Also, I don't know how long this video is going to go. It will probably go as long as I can. Usually when I do 2 runs, but it depends on how... And if I take a long mission, I guess it kind of makes sense. Deal 6 damage, blah, blah, blah. Usually we're looking for strength for damage. So instead we're just going to forget and work on what we have. Oddly enough, I mean, if the developer's intent was to have your deck have a lot more cards, then that's not the case, because I want to be able to not bloat my deck so I can draw the cards I want, is what I'm trying to say. And even right now, I don't want to bloat my deck anymore. Now, there are certain encounters that just toss away cards into the Forbidden Zone, but again, until I actually see it for myself again, I'm going in blind, otherwise I would do more research, but we're going in blind, so hopefully, yeah, a deck that's as small as... And there are ways to remove your cards, so there is some intent to have the player, get rid of cards they don't need, but whether or not or the developer could just end up saying, one day say that, you can play any way you want, then again, I know I'm kind of putting words in the dev's mouth, but I'm also thinking as a game dev myself, what the intent might be. Usually the ideal situation especially for deck builders is to... I need to figure out what I want to do. Do I want to gore do this? No, I want to strengthen. I don't do enough damage with gore. Is to have the player have the freedom to build things, but you can't be completely insane. Well, you kind of can, because Slay the Spire kind of works that way. There are mechanics, obviously, to fights, but I feel it's way... I could be wrong, though. I'm not the most... I need to threaten, by the way. I'm not the most well-versed in Slay the Spire, even though I've played a lot of it. I think I'm still a firm believer of, not all the time, but more than 50-50 at least. Game time does not equal skill. It does grant you some amount of skill, just by nature of, the hope that is muscle memories being hammered into you. I almost said bodied into you, but anywho. We're going to strengthen here. What do we do? Unyielding unyielding first, just in case we draw strengthen, like this. And we will see what happens. I named him Boofus 5, so I keep thinking it's like 5 strength. It's not. But while we have threaten still, yeah, we'll work with what we've got. Grant more threaten. And I accidentally did this, so I have to do this. You have another gore? No, so I might as well reshuffle. That's why I have no pain, no gain. So that when I use up the 2 gores that I'm using to cash out, I can immediately reroll, and something like this can happen. Around the 25, what is it? What's the actual odds of me drawing a gore after reshuffling my discard pile and, basically drawing a new card, drawing again? I don't know, but we have a lot of scratches. That's fine. I think this is I think I'm perfectly fine with Boofus 5's decks. So in the meanwhile, what's the difference here? 2 damage 2 times. 291, apply 1 vulnerable, draw 1 card, yeah. We don't need the raw damage on Scratch, we just need utility and or strength modifiers. Also, I think we're hurt, so we're gonna feed. For those who don't know, this is what happens when you get into a rest zone. You can spend your pounds of flesh that you get from defeating enemies on healing. At the end of a mission, they will cash out for money, but it doesn't look like a lot of money, so maybe I'm just not certain for sure. But I mean, there's a bunch of things the developer could add. Things like in the home, you can upgrade things or build more buildings. But again, they decided what they had for now, so perfectly fine. By the way, we got a threaten here. Warning signals immediately. Is this the draw card? No, this is vulnerability. So I guess instead, yeah, usually we have 2-3 costs, so if I spend unyielding here, unless I use plotting, which I could do, that was definitely an alternative first turn I could have done. I would rather do something like this. So while, again, we're still working with things, I could instead do Bloodshot. Oh no, there's no reason to no pain, no gain, so we're just gonna bulk up again. Again, at first glance, I didn't sit on it for long, but I did look at cards like Strengthen, and I'm like, what's the use of this? But when you consider the original thing of Strengthen and how you scale your damage, you do, I mean, if you're looking at just strength per cards played, using 1 Strengthen, or at least this one, 4 Strength, is equal to playing 16 attack cards, so usually you're not playing that many attack cards unless it's an elite or a long battle, but you get the point, I think. It's a nice card to help start scaling. Also, I messed up because I probably shouldn't have done that, but too late now. I don't want to throw away any of my gore, so I'm not going to use Ride By. We do need the more Threaten, though. I should have checked for that. We got stunned here, so we can get rid of 1, and thankfully get rid of all damage for the turn, but we are not out of the woods yet. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We do get to apply Vulnerable, but yeah, we don't get to play anything else. Cast. I keep saying cast. Why do I say cast? Anywho. I can wall of Flesh Revenge. Do I want to do that? Yeah. Yeah. Now, Blocky is still taking damage, but that's not too much damage. You get stunned, but I think we're okay for the moment. Yes, they stunned themselves as well. So Strengthen, Strengthen, Sharpen, and we prepare for the next turn. Again, I really like this right now, but I'm sure there may or may not be, or there may be a fight in which this is not going to help me at all. But we'll see, right? When you add deck building, roguelikes do have a kind of, not art, art is the wrong word. They do have a kind of beauty in, you know, having a very, not delicate design, but also very, designing a deck building roguelike, at least gameplay wise and balance wise, can be a very, I keep wanting to say delicate process. It can be a very, how should I say it? If you do one thing in a deck building roguelike, I think more than some other genres of games, but it depends on the exact situation, right? Obviously, say, for a shooter, if you change a gun, maybe it results in a huge shift. If you change a character in a fighting game, it can result in a huge shift. If you change a card in a deck building roguelike, it may or may not be a huge shift. What I'm trying to say is, deck building roguelikes, because there are so many more variables usually, in that every card, every enemy, every perk, stat, character the player can use for themselves. Changing one might not change the whole game in particular, but it can result in a very different balancing of, a very different meta, if nothing else. But I'm losing my words, so never mind. I lost the point of what I'm trying to say. But I think you get where I was kind of going with that. Also Meek, so we scratch the other moment instead. 2 cost energy cards, help! But again, at the same time, I'm kind of deflating on what I was talking about, because I'm thinking how much does it apply to other games? And that's what I'm thinking. Don't we have Gores left, by the way? We have 1. And then we have 1 attack card, but we don't have no pain, no gain, so instead, yeah, I guess we just try to cycle as soon as possible while toughening up. Wall of Flesh would have been nice, but we have 62 block, more than enough for these 2 moment. At least for the moment. Otherwise, in the meanwhile, we can counter. We're gonna lose a lot of our shield, but that's fine for the moment. And then we cash out this big gore. So, do we get to do a thing here? So I'm gonna purposely do this. Do we one-shot you? No, unfortunately. It would have been very nice, though. So I guess instead we get rid of that moment. And we hope for a new hand filled with great things like this. Of course, I should strengthen first, or should I defend? 2 strength, 2, that's 6 damage, and yeah, that's not enough, so we do want to defend a little bit. But then we want to go and cash out some damage. We're sitting on 10 strength, we might as well. Because we didn't get a single attack card here either, and that's why we have something like Revenge or Counter, but the enemy's not attacking, so I guess we just build our own shields up. Just do this for the moment. Became meek, but it doesn't really matter. You're the only one on the field. So 40 overkill damage. My goodness. 3 damage, apply 1 vulnerable. Yeah. Is there anything else? No. Yeah, there really isn't anything else. Abilene, by the way. 2 strength, 2 strength, instinct, retain. 4 strength, 3 stamina cost. Oh, I can't check my deck anymore. Well, we're just gonna take that. 6 times 4 damage gore. Maybe if it's the only thing I draw, but I really don't want to do that. Don't I already have a 4 energy gore? Oh man. I'm gonna do it though. Maybe it comes back to bite me, but until that happens, we'll see what happens. 12 block, draw 1 more card. I do like the drawing 1 more card. But we also need more energy. 2 costs, do that. Retain, unyielding. Yeah, since we have a 4 cost, we might as well stick with 1 cost that we can retain. And hopefully that works out better. Hopefully Abilene doesn't need any healing here either as we get into the boss. See, I think I'll start it out like this. I don't mind only doing 1 run. It feels a bit slow, but hey. By the way, I don't have a single threaten, so that... I get to play almost every card, but still... Yeah, I think I'd rather do this. Now, we drew Frenzy, but we don't have the strength for it anyway, so it's fine for the moment. I think we get rid of the ads, right? There's no way we don't. I haven't fought this boss before, so what's going to happen is... I don't know what's going to happen exactly. We can do this. And slowly deal HP back. I could strengthen as well. Counter is usually just my emergency damage when I don't have any other source of damage, though we do lose a gore here. We'll see. Oh, we're getting poisoned. Okay, I see. So, yeah, we do want to get out as soon as possible, or we would definitely want to get rid of the ads. But as you can see, we don't have any attack cards, so we are in trouble. Yeah, we could be in trouble here. Do we have a gore? How many gores do we have left? 1. And we have a lot of scratches, but no. We didn't draw any of them, so I guess we just sit here and block for the moment. We really do have to just sit here and block for the moment, though. I forgot I drew a card. Why do I do this? I need to just stop and wait. And unfortunately, we don't get to burn anyone down, so... we might just end up dying here. Oh, yeah. But we have to attack someone. Hopefully this allows me to survive? No, not yet. Nope. We lose block here. We might even wipe. But that's fine. Then we can start the next episode on a completely clean slate. Not that that makes it any better, but, you know. So everyone is doing something else. But we can start working on these ads here. These would have been appreciated earlier, but I was building strength at the same time, so... there's only so much. And we're going to grab some gores here, so we should strengthen up ASAP. If we lose Abilene, though, this is immediately over. Because to actually deal damage to the boss, a lot of damage to the boss, we probably... we drew both gores, by the way. I didn't want that. We go for as much damage as possible, but I promise you, this is not going well. Thankfully, we're not being attacked this turn, but still, it's not great. So there's a chance of us throwing away a gore. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Did we? No. So if we draw a gore next turn, we should be home free. We did lose our tank for that, and I think our tank has died the most so far, but we get out at least. That I know for sure. So on a hard mission, I probably would have just died, all things considered. Do we need more scratches? We might need more scratch. I'm going to take 1 more scratch then. But we do need to make another thing. So yeah, I think it's 1 for 1. Each pound of flesh is equal to 1 vellum, which is your currency in this game. But the mission also provides a good, I think even more of a portion of the money, but hey, It's fine here. So we're looking for owl parts. If we don't find them, like, so the root owl wings, and we're gonna try to make this owl. Basically, I'm not really Frankensteining. I know that's the whole point of the game, but I'm gonna do things a little different for myself. So let's see what I have. I have the head, I have the body, I'm missing the hind legs, but I do have the wings. We just need the legs now. So hopefully we've run into that at some point. Otherwise, I could try to make, or I could try to build an owl bear, question mark? Not owl bear. Bullman. Don't have the head. I mean, yeah, I could just make anything I want, but still. But I want to do this. So if I had to make an owl type thing, yeah, probably just like this. These aren't the correct legs, but I mean, it's a Frankenstein. So, you know what, just to do it, because there's no harm in doing it, we'll do this. And we'll call it Bentley. And we'll see what we get here. So, can also apparently become a tank while allowing other things, because obviously the parts that you have and the traits that each part can have allows you to use more cards, for those who didn't know. But in the meanwhile, we're looking for block here, by the way. Block and or taunt. We get fly because we have wing attack, but when we lose fly, we get stunned. I forget what fly exactly does. Spend on wing effects, which I don't know what those are, so we're just gonna kind of play a tank for now. Or try to, and then we'll train it up, because yeah, level 1, level 18, level 16. So we're going to check out each of the shops before the video ends, so... Oh, we need to put you in the squad, that's right. So we'll put you in the squad, but then we go back and check for things. Just a flesh wound. One day, okay, so let me see, yeah, that, claws of some sort, I think. Creature for each card play this turn. Now, if I were playing a lot of zero-cost cards, sure, but hey... Meek allows something to slink to the back and do more, I guess, not get hit, but that's not, that would probably be used. Actually, can I get that? I can. It clears if it attacks or gains threatened, then draws cards equal to the number of tokens. Huh. So the big coward play where you stack a lot of Meek, then do a big attack, so that would probably be for Abilene, actually. It would be, right? That way it can't get hit for 2 turns, but anywho. I don't want to try that, because my deck is already as big as it, yeah, you know, I would like it to be. That being said, is there anything I want to get rid of? Probably like lean and mean, right? I want to get rid of something. So apparently I'm not using Frenzy as much. Huh. Yeah, and the cost increase on each removal, so I do need to be careful. Especially if I get an ailment, but... Yeah, it's hard to really say. Well, it's hard for me to kind of think. Again, I'm not really looking anything up, so we're playing with what we get. But yeah, for now, I guess that'll be it for the moment. So without further ado, if you want to see more of this, let me know. Otherwise, we're probably only going to maybe 1 to 2 runs max per. You know, a 30-minute, 45-minute video feels pretty okay for a raw video anyway. Otherwise, I should really think about making an actual video with, you know, proper end screen and anything. Even though I don't really edit a lot of my videos at the moment, would probably be a good idea. So yeah, without further ado, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.